Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoterica and our continuing series, Hallowed Horror, where we take a look at some of my favorite horror gaming experiences of all time. And today we're taking a look at Alien Isolation on the PlayStation 4. And I've decided to show you just one portion of this game, and it is actually relatively early in the game, but to me, this is one of the most anxiety-inducing moments in gaming. And I will say that anxiety is not something I really have any experience with. I can understand it as a concept, but it's not something that really affects my life except when I'm playing games like this, and all of a sudden that anticipation of something bad around the corner, the thought that something might go wrong and I won't realize it, creeps up into my mind. And I think this game does an absolutely incredible job of articulating what that anxious feeling is, because we're about ready to uncover, and it is no spoiler, it's called Alien, the main alien in the game. And once that occurs, it's basically a game where you are hunted throughout the entire experience because you're not as powerful as the alien. You can't defeat it. You are weaker. You are the prey in this game. And I do like the fact that the game plays with that, because I kind of get tired of games where you're the all-powerful entity where you can destroy everything around you. It's nice to be able to play a game where you are the weaker character, you're lower on the food chain, and you need to deal with that kind of feeling. Visually, it's also an absolutely beautiful game. The team that made this did an excellent job kind of using the art design from the films and making it their own. And if you've ever played Alien Colonial Marines, you're going to know that for Alien games, this is leaps and bounds better than that experience. But this does an awesome job of environmental storytelling, because while you do get different story cues throughout the game, a lot of what you're experiencing story-wise is done visually. And I really do appreciate that, because even though this is a horror game and we're in a very tense situation right now, it is still relatively bright. The lights are on, and you'll see here that we're trying to navigate around some of these human enemies that are going to try to kill us if we're spotted. So it does have a lot of that stealth element to a game, and I appreciate that, because stealth, trying to sneak around, the fear is always that you're going to be caught, whether it's in Metal Gear Solid, whether it's in Alien Isolation. You don't want that alert to come up, and you're constantly sitting on the edge of your seat with that anxiety, wondering, if I move here, will I be safe? If I move here, will I be caught? And that's something you need to manage throughout the entire game. Granted, the human enemies are easier to escape from, but when you're trying to hide from the alien, it is a much more tense situation. You'll see here, I don't know how I'm not spotted. He kind of sees me, but it's relatively easy. But once the alien comes out, it learns from your behavior. You can't do the same thing twice. It just causes you to be on alert and be worried the entire game once that happens. And that's something that I think isn't done as much in gaming, and I really wish it was. And like I said earlier, being the least powerful thing in the room in a game is a really fun switch from what we're used to. If you think about horror films, the big bad enemy in those are always more powerful than the victims trying to overcome it. If you think about Friday the 13th, if you think about Halloween, the monster is always more powerful, and it's only through intelligent thought and planning that the victims are able to overcome those odds. And you'll see we've been spotted here, and we can sprint away down to the lower level basements where they're dark. But I do appreciate that this game uses those horror movie elements of the main character being one of the weakest things. It's something like if you play Resident Evil, granted they're zombies and they will kill you, but you get tons of weapons, you get tons of ammo, and towards the end of the game, you are still the most powerful thing around, and while the boss fights might be slightly challenging, you can pretty much easily overcome them. In Alien Isolation, there is never a point in which you are more powerful than the alien, and I genuinely appreciate that, because sometimes these horror games lighten up towards the end and give you a reprieve from that anxiety, or this game is going to use that anxiety feeling all the way through. And we pop into this little filing cabinet here, actually it's a locker, and we're trying to hide from that person, but we find out that they didn't come down through the stairs. But what we need to do now is just kind of find things in the environment to drive the story. And I love that there's little cues from the Alien movie, that dipping bird right there, something that was originally in the game. And the art designers and, the managers of this game did an amazing job of making this feel like another story in the Alien franchise, because basically it is. But what I'm going to let you do now is just watch a little bit of the game, listen to it. We're going to pick up this revolver and this key card here, because the audio design drives home that feeling of horror and anxiety so well. But I will be back in just a minute or so to talk more about Alien Isolation and close it out. But I'm not sure if you just heard that. Kind of sounded like an alien.
Oh God. Here, one working access tuner. Let's try this thing out.
If you want to talk about anxiety though, this little signal jammer here drives me insane. It causes me to have so much stress when I'm playing this game because you have to solve these very basic puzzles. And when there's nothing around you that's going to be a danger, it's not that hard. You identify what the codes are, you put them in, and you're able to open up the door. But this is one of the only instances where you're going to be able to use this device without danger around you. And when the alien's hot on your tail and that door demarcates the safe zone and you're trying to solve a puzzle knowing that something's chasing behind you, it causes so much more stress in the game. And if you've ever experienced stress or that kind of high anxiety level before, trying to solve a puzzle in and of itself can be difficult. But if you're stressed out, if you're worried about being hurt or injured in the game, all of a sudden solving that simple puzzle becomes that much harder. And I do love that the game artificially slows you down and puts you in situations where if you could just get through the door, you would be safe. But now you have a little bit of an obstruction that's going to cause you to spend 10 more seconds if you're thinking clearly, and might end up getting you killed if you're stressed out enough where you can't think clearly. But we're getting close to another pivotal moment in the game, and we just need to use this access tuner one more time. And it's a genius design, because all you need to do is move the analog stick and then pick 3 symbols. But they're obscure enough that you have to look at them a little bit slower than you normally would. It's not just numbers, and that causes that just to feel a little bit slower. What you're going to see here now is after we disengage the alarm, our little friend, the alien, is going to slowly start to pop up. I'll let you watch it, and I'll come back and close out the video 1 second, but here's our buddy. The moment the game introduces the alien, you know it's completely changed. Because before this, you've been interacting with humans, you've been running from them, maybe even shooting them from time to time, but they don't pose the same level of danger that the alien does. Because the alien is not just going to take some of your health down, it is going to kill you and one-shot you immediately. So now all of a sudden, there is a defeat condition added into the game that you need to worry about the entire time. Because you never know where the alien's going to come from, you never know what they're planning on doing, you never know what corner they're around, and for the rest of the game that anxiety is going to be hanging over you like an anvil ready to drop on your head. But that is Alien Isolation. I absolutely recommend you play this game. It's one of the best, if not the best, Alien game ever made. And we really appreciate you guys watching. If you could do us a huge favor, go down below and hit like and subscribe. Definitely takes a lot of time and energy to make these videos, and we appreciate your support. And you can see I'm closing the video a little bit early because I'm going to lead out. But if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I'd be happy to answer each and every one of them. But if you're looking for an awesome horror game that doesn't involve zombies or monsters in the traditional sense, you definitely would want to check this out. And you can see down here, those humans are no longer going to be a problem for us because the alien is taking care of them. And we know that that door down there is where we have to use that signal jammer. But now suddenly we're in an area with the alien hunting humans, and we know we have to go down there and solve a puzzle. And we don't know where he is. We don't know whether we should go slowly, or we don't know whether we should sprint towards the end and decide if that's the best course of action. And that's how you're going to be playing this entire game. But I guess you'll just have to play it for yourself and see what's behind that door. Because did I get through? Did I not get through? Who knows?